Hello, I'm Player2, and welcome to the first Kiro Realm event recap. Kiro Realm hosted a Discord event where the main staff discussed what direction they should take for the next phase of the server. This video is a recap of the event and is somewhat of a podcast style, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Special shout out to the patrons who made the next phase a possibility. And thank you to everyone who joined the event live on Discord. Be sure to join the Discord server so you can join future events. Anyways, on with the recap.
So first up, Zala, you probably want to start with the beginning part.
Okay, so just a couple updates. Nothing big, but we have now got access to our dedicated server, thanks to the Patreons. And we're gonna basically transfer all of our files from this server to the new one in the upcoming days. So we're probably gonna go down into maintenance around the 22nd or 23rd, and then you'll be able to join back a couple of days later. Hopefully. Depends. Depends if we sort out one of our issues we've got.
Yeah, so last time we talked about upgrading to like a network dedicated server, and we basically have, and it'll just take a couple days to transfer everything over, but it has been acquired, and we'll be making that change very soon. But this event, right, is called the next phase because we want to talk about a specific thing. We want to talk about the direction that we take Kiro Realm now. Also, welcome Leo. I see that you've joined. So, Zalo, do you want to go ahead and explain the situation, and then we just go from there?
Sure. So, at the moment, we're kind of struggling to find the right game mode for this server. We're basically conflicting between whether we should go down the PvP or the PvE route. And sort of within the staff team, we have different perspectives and ideas that is basically preventing us from going the next step. So this event is basically trying to get your perspective and your opinions involved, so we can sort of decide what direction we should take in the future. So yeah. I think we should do the poll now.
Yeah, let's do the poll now. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have to quickly make this poll because I forgot to do it. Let me quickly make it, yeah. Guys, nothing happened, yeah? Let me just quickly make this poll. So we got 1, and then we got 2. If you guys react to it based on what you think. So if I do polls, and then if I do... And I'll just do an everyone tag as well, because this is very important. Kind of want to make sure we get an idea about your initial thought, and then we can kind of talk about what exactly we're going to do. Alright, so how's the poll going? Let's see. 2 to 9.
Yeah,
okay.
Seems like PvE is the victor with this one.
Initially, yeah, it looks like it.
Initially.
This is why we wanted to ask, because it's different for everybody. It's very important that we get an idea initially about what people think. Zala, do you want to talk about the PvE route that we would take, I guess, and then we can kind of talk about the PvP?
Yeah, okay, sure. So the idea, we do have ideas depending on which route we take. But if we go down the PvE route, which seems to be the one people are favoring right now, essentially we're going to split up the building aspect and the content aspect. So there'll be a singular world where everything will be custom made by us, and that will be a content world where we'll tell the story. There's going to be dungeons and raids, custom bosses and custom mobs, and then we're going to split the districts off into their own world where people can go and claim land and build their own bases. And and the inventories will be will not be changed. They'll be the same for every world, so you can take your loot from the content world into the build world. If that sounds good to you guys, can we get that? Any opinions on that?
Yeah, so like it would be like countries, because right now
Yeah,
everything is in one world. So as you can see, we have the 3 districts together with the custom builds, and then everywhere that's not claimed, you guys can build and stuff. But we would like to separate that and have a world that's fully content with the quests, the dungeons, and everything like that. And then you would have like the countries, essentially,
yeah,
one for each, where you guys can use the resources that you gather, etc., to claim land and build up little communities and store your items away,
yeah.
essentially.
And we decided that this might be a good idea because we noticed that some of you guys like to build and form their own communities. But if you build in our content world where we're trying to start a story and progress it later on down the line, it would be very hard for us to manage that. And we're planning on moving the townie aspect to our own custom claiming plugin in the future. So if we put everything in a separate world, we can reset that world when we're ready to move on to the next plugin. So it would help us a lot, and it will also provide you guys content while we work on the custom aspects.
Also, hey Bella, shout out to Bella, our voice actor. I kind of liked the combined one since I'm with a different cathedral than the one my friends are planning. How easy would it be to go between them? It's just a teleport, essentially.
Yeah, it's going to be very easy
It's
to
gonna,
go between them.
in terms of like this, the aspect is gonna be like it's all connected. Essentially, it's all one realm.
Yeah,
But it's just in the content world you can't build anything, but in the build worlds you can. And say for example, I'm in Serafina, I can't go to the Ryeworth Cathedral, the country, Ryeworth country. So that's how we're planning to do it currently. But we'd like your opinions, of course. Can you get the Nether working? The Nether is going to be its own update in the future, but as you can see, we're focusing on the overworld first because we want to add dungeons and custom mobs, and then the Nether will have its own dungeons and mobs as well. So the Nether won't be open anytime soon. Redstone.
redstone ever be viable.
We don't plan it to be viable because redstone causes a lot of lag on the server. But we will have a separate use for redstone, whether it's dimes or experience or something like that, or use for recipes, crafting recipes. But in terms of like redstone contraptions, you're not going to be able to make those because they can get pretty crazy and it'll just cause the server to lag out. It's one of the main reasons why, especially as we grow. Now let's talk about the PvP aspect. So
Yeah,
the PvP aspect that we could take, Zylo, if you go ahead, because you have more knowledge about it.
yeah, okay. So the PvP aspect we're thinking of taking is sort of like a factions-based aspect where people can form their own factions and go out to these dungeons that we're planning on doing to get this custom loot we have. And then people can go and raid other people and have like little faction wars. So it's going to be very PvP oriented. Does that sound good? AK better than PvE. So instead of going down the story route, we won't be doing many quests. There's going to be a lot less PvE, so not as many bosses, and it's going to be mainly PvP.
Essentially, you guys would be creating your own conflicts and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've talked about both aspects, right? To a decent degree. So, do you guys still have the same opinion about what direction you'd like to take, PvP or PvE, or has your opinion changed now that we've talked about kind of both aspects? Still PvE, PvP. Sab is my new fave. I'm not neutral anymore. PvE. Yeah, still dislike raiding, burning, and hunting people for sport. Okay. One thing that we should probably mention though is that in the content world, there will still be PvP essentially, in terms of like you can interfere with the other districts. Sab is
Yeah,
the
it's
better
not like
one.
we're removing PvP, it's just that we're going to emphasize PvE. So we'll be working less on PvP content and basically spending a good majority of our time producing PvE content.
Yeah, it's good for us right now. We have to focus on one or the other, and kind of take it in that direction. In the future, we can obviously kind of expand, but right now we're like a 3-man team, so we kind of want a focus, and then we go from there. Who's Sans? Chrissy, I can't believe you. Sans. Who's Sans?
Sons from Undertale.
It's a violation. Yeah, we're going to talk about applications right after we come to a decision, but let me take a look at the poll. Alright, still 3 to 15. Let's see who.
Yes, I'm
voted
British.
PvP.
We're all
Salty,
British.
Collins. Okay, so a lot of people are saying PvE currently. Witchery, would you like to talk? Because you're going to be a future sponsor anyway. Would you like to be a chief guest? I don't know if you're actually able to talk though. About your opinion.
Public announcement.
About, you know, what direction you'd like the server to take. Your opinion. Come on, you can do it. You're going to be a future sponsor. Going to send everybody to you. You may as well introduce yourself as well. Would you like to? There's no pressure though. Alright, cool. I'm going to invite you to talk. Let's do this. I mean, while we're here, does anyone else want to speak? They can if they want to.
I did it!
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
There we go.
Oh my god. I was just like, why is my mic not working? Plugged into the wrong port.
Okay, cool. It's fixed now. Anyway,
Okay.
everyone, welcome Witchery, future sponsor. Gonna probably
Future Serafina member.
I don't know about that, but
It's happening.
We'll announce
It's
it
happening.
in April. And
I'm announcing it now.
No, you can't decide
Technically,
that yet.
you have announced it, so.
Anyway, yes, technically I have, haven't I?
Yay!
But yes, everybody give hype to Witchery. Make sure you follow her on Twitch.
I'm in my Stardew Valley phase. I was playing Stardew Valley on the Switch. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Oops.
Alright, so Witchery, based on everything we've talked about so far, what kind of direction do you think we should take with Kiro Realm once we move to the next phase?
I mean, I kind of favor like quest and story over let's make our own.
Okay.
So it's like I hate PvP. I'm not good at it. I started like actually playing on a good computer like a year ago, so I'm really bad at it right now. But I feel like if we did PvE, the ones that are bad at PvP can get better at it, and then we could add, more PvP aspects later on. Plus, I like the idea of like monsters, like, cause like fantasy-esque. I want to kill some monsters, go on quests.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, that's a good shout for sure. There would still be PvP aspects in like the content world, but it would be more PvE concentrated. So yeah, that does make sense. But thank you, Witchery, for giving us your opinion. Definitely very valuable. And we can't wait to see you in April. Join either Ryeworth or Collinia. Can't wait.
Serafina, I understand.
Alright, I'm just gonna move you back to the audience before you say anything else. Okay. There she goes.
Hello?
Welcome.
There you go. Welcome, Ash.
Hello.
he made a surprise entry.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Alright, so would you like to talk about your perspective about how we should take
Yeah.
Kiro and go from there?
Okay, sure, yeah. In my opinion, right, the way I see the server going is always going to be based on the community. If the community wants it to be PvE, then it's fine. But they need to know that if it's going to be PvE, they can't expect the whole district tension to be a main center of attraction in a way. Because if we're going to focus on PvE, our main focus will be quest, story, and content. And if we go for PvP, then we can implement that war sooner than later. Because at the moment, we're not thinking about long term, we're thinking about short term. So it's important that we think about these little short term ideas that would come into your mind and consider those when deciding.
Yeah, it makes a very valid point that if we go down the PvE route, there will be less kind of district tension than there would be if there is PvP. There could be competition in terms of like the dungeons and stuff, but I mean, from the introduction video, I kind of assumed the monster problem was the main lore threat. Yes, in terms of like the Kiro lore, that is kind of the main threat. But then you have the district tensions with their different viewpoints about everything, and then they kind of clash. Now, if we went down the PvP route, we can embellish on that more. But if we go down the PvE route, we wouldn't be able to focus that much on the tension. Anything else, Ash?
Yeah, that's it really. The only thing I want to point out as well is that the whole story with PvE will be more dragged out with the whole monster problem. Whereas if it was the PvP, it will be more suited about districts in a way, and monsters will be like an add-on. For all the Ryeworth fans out there, right? Let's just say that Serafina people are kind of scared of PvP.
Oh my
That's
god,
why
this
they're going
guy
for
is
PvE.
talking trash in an event. That's mad. That's
So
crazy.
just point out there, yeah.
That's crazy. The thing is, if he was here right now, he'd be beefing you. Let me get good in PvP first. I mean, I said my piece. I've always just been a bigger fan of survival aspects. Yeah, like, as much as we would like to do both aspects all in one kind of game mode, it's very hard for us to do that in a short time frame. That's why we're asking whether we want to focus on one or the other. Now, both of them would have aspects of each other, but we're asking what would be like the main focus. Also, Ash, are you going to say anything else, or shall I move you down back to the audience?
No, you can move me back.
Alright, cool. Just shout out to Meg, because she's the real roadman here, essentially. She's the real roadman. Don't mess with Meg. Alright, so we have a 5-13 ratio. Not bad. I like how Gracie voted, even though she doesn't play Minecraft. I'll still take it into consideration.
There's definitely pros and cons for both sides.
Yeah.
It's just opinion.
It's just opinion based, really, and we're just probably going to go with the majority here. We want to know like what we should focus on first, you know, and kind of take it. Because this next phase is going to be huge. It's going to change what the server is currently. Because right now, the server is basically townie survival, essentially, which is not what Kiro Realm is.
Yes, PvE will include the boss missions.
Yeah, it will include dungeons, altars. It's going to include a lot of custom mobs.
It's basically like come together as a team and take down bosses. That's the aspect of PvE.
Okay, what's next on the agenda? I don't think TRAINEE made it anymore, did she?
No.
Alright.
So the next thing is the staff applications.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the staff applications now. Are you guys ready for that? Okay, cool.
Nice.
So we are opening up 4 separate positions, essentially. We're opening up trainee, which is going to be, you apply for trainee to become a moderator, essentially, on the server. And trainees will moderate the server while we're busy with server development. So you guys are just making sure everybody's following the rules on both the Discord and on the Minecraft server, essentially. And then you guys work your way up the staff team. This helps us a lot because we don't need to manage it. Rather, we have people that we can trust manage it for us. And you just build that trust over time, essentially. Builder, so we're opening up builders. Now, if anybody here is good at building, please apply, because we do need help with building. Like, as you can see, we have some really nice builds, but we do need help with speeding up the building process. If we can have people building while other stuff is going on, that will increase server production time by a lot. So if you're interested in building, or you know how to build and stuff, please do apply for a builder. But of course, if you're not good at building, then don't apply, obviously, but it's up to you. But any kind of help that we can get building wise is kind of the best way forward for us right now. Next up we have story writer. So 𝐒𝐤𝐢𝐴, you can talk about the last 2, yeah, while I make this message.
Sure. So the story writer will be somebody who's going to write all of our quests and in-game dialogue for NPCs, basically writing the lore for us, and then we'll implement it in-game. So somebody who's dedicating the time writing the story will basically take a lot of our time off of our back. So we can sort of work on other things while somebody else does it for us. And then the next one, and the last one, is the mob designer. So we need somebody to design our custom mobs, because they take a long time to actually design. Sometimes we sit there for like 2 hours deciding what they are, what they do, and what they're called. So if somebody can sit down and do that for us, it would take little time for me to just implement it in game.
I think we can take a couple questions before we end it off here. Right, 𝐒𝐤𝐴?
Yeah, I guess. Slight Q&A.
Slight Q&A. But I think, let's take a look at the poll. I think we're going to be going for PvE.
We'll discuss it tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah, it's a 5 to 13. How long would it take to get the results back for the staff applications? When do you think that PV? In terms of the staff applications, once the server goes down for a couple days, I'll take over looking over the applications in my own time. So you can expect it in under a week, maybe less. So in a couple days time, you'll get feedback based on your application. We'll either accept or reject, essentially. So make sure you guys do it properly. When do you think that PvE will start to be in development? I think we'll probably talk about it with the staff team tomorrow, right, 𝐒𝐤𝐴? Just to finalize it. And then after tomorrow, and once we start transferring everything over, and once we move to dedicated, we'll create that dev server, and then we start from there. So most likely, we'll start development on like the 24th or 25th, essentially.
Yeah, towards the end of the week.
Yeah, towards the end of the week. 24th or 25th, we'll start development for the next phase. But the server will be up after maintenance. It'll just be the normal townie survival that it is right now. Tinyness. He did not make it.
You made it an hour late.
He did not make it. You made it an hour late. we've had like a whole discussion and everything.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Tiny, what's going on?
Sorry, I laid down to pass time and I ended up falling asleep.
She said she made it an hour later. Oh, that's alright. It's alright though. While you were gone, actually, Witchery spoke her opinion. It was quite interesting. Anyway, I don't know when you joined specifically, but the discussion right now is about what route should we take with Kiro Realm? Should we go down PvP or PvE? What are your initial thoughts right now?
Honestly, I would prefer having it geared towards like PvE than PvP. And then looking at what Wonton sent me, like
Oh yeah,
he's
he
kind
said.
of he's kind of geared towards kind of PvE as well, but he's wanting kind of, it looks like different bosses, like field bosses, and then have them drop like unique items and stuff like that.
Yeah, in terms of that, like we've opened up the staff applications essentially, and we've opened up the positions for a story writer and mob designer. So Wonton will probably be interested in either of those. I'll announce that later. But in terms
Okay.
of like your opinion, you're saying that you would prefer to go down PvE.
Personally, yeah. I feel like I would have a little more fun just with the PvE, but me personally, I don't enjoy much PvP, but the PvP makes it kind of exciting. You don't know what's gonna happen when you leave your base. Like you don't know who you can trust, and it kind of adds that little bit of drama that might be good to have.
Yeah, definitely. Zalo, do you want to talk about the PvE aspect one more time, very briefly?
Sure. Okay, so with the PvE aspects, we're planning on having the realm split off into 4 different worlds, where there's going to be a content world that will contain the dungeons, the raids, and bosses. Also, quests will take place here. And then the other 3 worlds will basically be the 3 districts split off into their own build world, where you can build up your own communities. So the content world, you will not be able to build anything, and that's where all of our custom builds will be. And then the build world is where you guys can do whatever you want.
Okay.
It's going to act somewhat like countries essentially. So you'll have like the Serafina country, where you guys build up the land and your communities with the resources that you gather in the content world. Now somebody from Ryeworth can't go to Serafina, vice versa, like that. That
Eventually,
way,
there will be.
eventually they would be able to, yeah. But initially, we're talking, they wouldn't be able to. And then there's the PvP aspect, which Zylo can talk about.
Yeah, so the PvP aspect will be sort of like a factions-based server, where people form their own factions, build bases, and then get custom loot from bosses out like randomly in the world. And then people will be able to fight each other and raid each other's bases to steal loot. That's basically it.
Okay. So while in the districts, you wouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
Now, would it be able to have it to where you can go between the districts and then go to the content world?
Well, with the PvP aspects, we won't split it off into the different worlds. It'll just be all one world.
No, I mean, like, if you're in Serafina, can you go to the content world?
Yes, yes. You can travel between all of the worlds.
It'll be teleportation, basically.
Yeah.
The concept is that everything is one like realm essentially, right? And then you'll have the content world, which is where all the monsters, the quest, the story is going to be centered. And then you'll have like the countries, but it will be teleports in between essentially. If you want to travel to like the Serafina world / Serafina country, and then you can teleport back.
No, the teleportation will be free.
Yeah, it'll be free between the countries.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea a lot. I think that would be good. That way it keeps like the people who just want to build kind of separated from the people who want to grief and who want to just gank and murder and all that.
Yeah, definitely. One of the kind of issues that we're having currently is that we would see really random builds or like griefing around the world, and it kind of defeats the feel of like the RPG aspect. When you see like a very like sci-fi build, for example, or anything like that. But having it split off, so like a content world and then a build world, would mean that we can have the content
let players
world
do what they want.
Yeah, exactly. They can do what they want in the build world. But in the content world, we keep it to actual theme, and we don't need to worry about it being griefed and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely like that idea, because working so hard to build something, and I understand it's a PvP. I understand like the PvP aspect and stuff like that. It's gonna happen, but getting so frustrated that I have to stop my stream, I don't like having to do that.
Of course, yeah. Okay. Alright, I think that's everything. Unless, Salo, you had anything else to say?
Nope, that's it.
So yeah, we'll be putting the server down in maintenance on the 22nd or the 23rd. While we transfer everything over to the network, it's going to feel a lot smoother and a lot better. So be ready for that. And I think we will most likely go down the PvE route. If I take one more look at the polls, yeah, 5 to 15. 4 to 16, never mind. How long would the server last once PvE is set up? What do you mean? Once PvE set up, as in like the next phase is set up, then it's going to be up forever, and then we just update it.
Add more
and more and more, essentially. It won't get reset again once we have that like next phase, essentially. It'll just go from there.
So the idea of the PvE content world, it will never reset. Only more things are going to be added.
Yeah, it'll be a bit like regions. So you'll have access to one region initially, and then we'll release more and more regions over time that will have more quests, more dungeons, more side quests, more lore and story, essentially. And you just go through each region and see how far you get. And most likely when the server is at the next phase, there will be no level lock, so you can go past 100.
That's if you make it to 100.
That's if you make it to 100, but I don't even think Wonton can, so...
Yeah, I don't even think Wonton can.
Maybe Meg can, who knows. Unbelievable. I'll reach level 200. God damn.
Should I put it in the algorithm and see how much XP it needs
If you have it up, yeah.
to get to level 200?
Go
I can
ahead.
get it up real quick.
Go ahead. We
And I'll do
might be
it.
changing the algorithm, but we'll see. Because
Yeah.
what we are going to do is we're going to be adding a skill system. Oh, we're completely wiping the server rate. In like a month or two. So until then, just, you know, have fun. Then I might as well fess up. What is your confession? Go ahead. No, not my levels. That I found a way to get a redstone. I believe we fixed that, didn't we, 𝐒𝐤𝐢? Or did he?
I'm not too sure.
What is your way? Yeah, if you have any bugs, let us know, because that helps us. Witches. Okay, the mob drops. Just need to fix the loot
Okay.
table for that.
To get to level 100, you need 1,467,288,551 XP.
Wait, what?
That's how much XP you need to
1
get to
billion,
almost 1.5 billion.
1.5 billion.
Whereas to
Wonton.
get to level 100, you need 46 million.
Yeah,
So
Wonton, there's no way, okay? It's
1
doable.
billion is due.
That's
Yeah.
this is no way.
Good luck. Good luck.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the level system. The problem is right now is that there isn't many ways to get experience, but in the next phase there will be a lot of ways. Also, yeah, the spawners, I think the chests have redstone as well. But in the next phase there won't be any, you know, cave system in the content world apart from like the quarries that we make.
Wonton, what's in it for us? What's in it for us? I will gladly make that bet.
This guy wants soul sand just to make bubble
I will
invaders.
give him a stack of soul sand if he can reach level 100 in a week. Gladly. Get a tier 4 Patreon if you lose.
A tier 1.
Tier 4.
Tier 4. Oh, that
Yeah.
stakes are high. Stakes are high. If you can't make 100 in a week, that's tough. $100 in a month.
He's doubting himself.
He's doubting himself. Then a tier 2. 𝐒𝐤𝐢, what do you think?
Sure. Yeah, I think we could win that bet easily.
Okay, this is between 𝐒𝐤𝐢 and Wonton. It's official, guys. I meant to ask, what do we need to make? So you guys aren't going to be making it. We'll be making it, but you guys will be coming up with the ideas for it. We'll handle like the plugin stuff. So what we'll do is we'll give you questions based on different parameters for the custom mob. So like the name, the health, experience, the ability idea that you have in mind, the mob type, and then you just fill it in, like kind of like a questionnaire.
Yeah, you just do like a form,
Yeah, you
fill
just
it
come
in,
up with
and
the
then we'll deal
ideas,
with the rest.
and then we'll make it. We'll make it a reality, essentially. That's what it means to be a mob designer. Chrissy is just here obsessing over the cat. Reminds me of Meg. I think a big issue that I went through at the start was as soon as my tools ran out, I couldn't use the stone ones, and getting flint was hard, so I ended up dying a lot and didn't get past for a whole 2 days. Yeah, I know that the initial is very, very grindy and hard. That's why we added the gravel stations at the cathedrals. It's unlimited gravel that you can
get flint very easy now.
You can get flint very easy at the cathedrals.
For free.
You're with Ted right now. Nice. Yes, there are gravel stations at every district. And there's like the sieve as well right next to it, so you can convert it to flint straight away. I guess we didn't make that very apparent. There should be signs. Yeah, in the next phase everything will be very detailed and you can understand everything. But as you can see, like, we're not putting too much emphasis on what we have right now because we are going to be shifting it. Alright, I've invited you to speak. Hello, Wonton.
Hello everyone. I'm
Hey.
Wonton, part of Kiro Realm. So I just had one thing to say about the applications. By the way they're formatted, it looks like you guys will only be accepting like 1 or 2 people per groups. But especially for mob building and storytelling, I think it would be great to have like a team of people, like 5 or 6, small team, but a team nonetheless would be better to get more ideas and yeah.
We're limiting 1
Cool.
response per person, but we would have multiple people. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty much everything.
Okay, cool. Thank you for your input.
Are people going to apply for the other positions? How many people have applied?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, we have 4 for the trainee one. It's insane.
And then we have some others for the other ones, pretty sure. Let me just fix Discord properly and let me stop recording. Oh my god.